The light in the sky. The forest was quiet that night. Only the soft sound of wind moved through the trees. In the middle of the woods, two humans, Jake and Maya, sat near a campfire. It was their weekend trip. They both wanted to escape the city and enjoy some peace. Jake threw another stick into the fire. "It's so calm here," he said. Maya smiled. "Too calm, like the world is holding its breath." They both laughed. The stars above were bright. There were no clouds, and the sky looked like a dark ocean filled with glowing points. Suddenly, something changed. The stars began to disappear, one by one. A huge shadow moved over them. At first, they thought it was a cloud, but the shape was wrong, too straight, too large. The campfire flickered, then went out by itself. "What the hell?" Jake stood up quickly. Maya looked up. "Jake, look at that." Above them, a glowing triangle-shaped object hovered silently. No sound. No engine. Just silence. A cold wind rushed through the trees as if the forest itself was afraid. Then came the light. A single beam of white-blue light shot down from the bottom of the ship. It moved slowly at first, like it was searching. Maya tried to run, but her body wouldn't move. Jake reached for her, but his hand froze in midair. They were stuck, floating just a few inches above the ground. Their bodies frozen, their minds wide awake. The beam moved over them, and in one blink, they were gone. The next morning, park rangers found the empty campsite. The fire was cold. Their tent was still standing, but the sleeping bags were untouched. 2 backpacks remained, but the food inside was untouched. Only one thing was out of place. A strange symbol burned into the ground. It looked like a circle inside a triangle, with alien writing around it. No human had ever seen such a thing. One ranger, Officer Lena, walked slowly around the symbol. No tracks. "No signs of struggle," she said to her partner. "People don't just vanish," her partner replied. But Jake and Maya were gone. No blood, no clues, nothing. Jake woke up first. He was not in the forest. He was not on Earth. He floated in a clear, round chamber filled with soft blue light. He tried to move, but invisible pressure held him in place. The air felt strange, heavy, but clean. In front of him, a long, dark figure appeared. It had big black eyes, pale skin, and a thin, tall body. The creature didn't speak with its mouth, but Jake heard a voice in his mind. "Human, you're alive. Do not fear." Jake wanted to scream, but no sound came out. The alien raised a hand and touched a control panel. A soft humming sound started, and the chamber began to lower him to the floor. At the same time, in another part of the ship, Maya opened her eyes. Her chamber was similar, and another alien watched her. "You have been chosen," the voice said in her mind. "You will help save a world." Maya's heartbeat pounded in her ears. She tried to fight the fear, but her legs felt weak. "Where is Jake?" she asked in her mind. The alien said nothing but turned to a large screen. Maya saw an image of Jake floating like her, confused and afraid. Her eyes filled with tears. This wasn't a dream. This was real. Back in the forest, the air was still cold. The sun rose higher, but the symbol in the ground did not fade. It burned like fire on stone. A storm began to build far in the sky, but there was no rain. Just the strange feeling that something unnatural had happened. And far above Earth, in a ship that no radar could detect, 2 humans floated between fear and fate, watched by creatures desperate to survive. Inside the alien vessel, darkness. Cold. Silence. Jake opened his eyes. At first he thought he was blind. Everything around him was dark, like thick smoke. Then dim blue lights began to glow, slowly outlining the walls of a round chamber. He wasn't lying on anything. He was floating. Where am I?" he whispered. But no voice answered. Only a soft vibration under his skin, like the ship was humming. Jake tried to move. His body responded, but it was slow, like swimming through syrup. When he pushed too hard, a sharp jolt of electricity buzzed through his spine. The chamber wanted him still. Then, without warning, the ceiling of his chamber turned clear, and Jake saw stars. Endless black space stretched above him. Planets moved in the distance. Earth was gone. Just as panic filled his chest, a new shape entered the room, not walking but floating. It was tall, thin, with 4 arms and soft silver skin. Its head was smooth, eyes large and glowing purple. Jake's breath caught. It wasn't just strange, it was beautiful in a terrifying way. Like a sculpture come to life. Suddenly a voice echoed, not through the room but inside his mind. "You are safe. Please do not struggle." Elsewhere on the ship, Maya screamed. She had woken up already inside a glowing tube, lying on a soft, gel-like surface. The walls pulsed like a heartbeat. A thin mist floated in the air, making her eyes water. She wasn't alone. 3 alien figures stood around her, one very tall, the other 2 smaller, like children. But none of them looked aggressive. In fact, one of the smaller aliens looked like it was shivering. Maya pressed herself against the back of the chamber. "Where's Jake?" she cried. "What do you want from us?" Then she heard it. "You were chosen because you are strong. Your kind is our only hope." The voice wasn't hers, it wasn't spoken. It was sent. One of the aliens placed a glowing stone on the glass. Instantly, a screen appeared, showing Jake, confused but alive. He was being moved through the ship by another alien. Tears formed in Maya's eyes. "Is he okay? He is not harmed. You are both gifts." "Gifts? For what?" The ship trembled. A low, pulsing alarm echoed through the walls. Suddenly, the older alien looked down at the 2 smaller ones. One of them collapsed. Its breathing was fast and weak. Maya gasped. Without thinking, she hit the wall of the chamber. "Let me out. That kid is dying." The alien paused, then touched the wall. With a hiss, the chamber opened. Maya rushed out, expecting her legs to buckle. But she was fine. Gravity was gentle here. She knelt beside the alien child. Its skin was turning gray. Its chest barely moved. "What's wrong with it?" she asked. "They are failing. We all are. Our blood cannot make life anymore." Maya stared at them. That's when it hit her. They weren't evil. They were desperate. Meanwhile, Jake was being led through a bright hallway, filled with strange plants and glowing tubes. Inside the tubes, he saw dozens of alien embryos, all dead. The ship was silent except for the soft hum of failing machines. His guide stopped and looked at him. It placed its long hand on his chest. "Your kind has the code we lost. Your kind survived the great dying." "What do you mean?" Jake asked. The alien pointed to a mural on the wall, painted in silver light. It showed their people long ago, strong, proud, and many. Then came a black cloud. Then came death. Only a few escaped, and even they were now fading. "We need you to begin again." Jake backed away. "No, no way. I didn't agree to anything." The alien didn't stop him. It only looked down, and then it knelt. "Please, help us. We have nothing left." On the other side of the ship, Maya held the small alien child as it blinked slowly, breathing weakly. The older alien handed her a strange stone. "Place this on your chest," it said. "It will show us if you are compatible." Maya looked at the stone. It glowed warmer in her hands. Then a voice echoed again. "We do not wish to take. We wish to ask." She looked down at the child. She looked up at the alien. And for the first time, Maya didn't feel like a prisoner. She felt chosen. Breeding mandate, Maya sat in silence, holding the small alien child in her arms. Its skin had changed from gray to pale blue, like morning sky returning after a storm. But the look in its eyes still shook her. Hope and fear mixed together. Behind her, the taller alien watched quietly. It didn't try to force her, it didn't speak into her mind again. It only waited. Maya finally asked, "Why us?" The alien stepped forward, its voice soft and sad inside her mind. Because your kind is strong. You survived the dying. We did not. At the same time, in another part of the ship, Jake stood inside a large chamber. It looked like a medical room, but too clean, too empty. In the center was a chair made of glowing material. Above it, strange lights blinked. One machine made a soft beeping noise every few seconds. A tall alien pointed to the chair. Jake narrowed his eyes. You want me to sit there? We need a sample. To test your viability. You are genetically stable. You are compatible. Compatible for what? The alien hesitated. Then it said the words that changed everything. Breeding. Jake laughed. But it wasn't a happy laugh. It was nervous, almost angry. You kidnapped us for this? You could have just asked. We tried, others ran, some died. You listened. Jake stepped back, fists clenched. So we're lab rats? You think we'll just help you make babies? The alien lowered its head. No. You are not animals. You are hope. And hope must be asked. Meanwhile, Maya sat with the child, gently touching its tiny hand. The skin was cold but soft. The older alien knelt beside her. We did not want this, but time is gone. Our females cannot create life. The black poison still lives in our blood. What poison? The alien pointed at a wall. A hologram appeared. It showed the history of their kind. Once, a mighty race with cities that floated in the sky and ships that traveled faster than thought. But then came the drought. A weapon made by enemies long dead had wiped their ability to reproduce. They lived, but they could not grow. Their future was empty. Until Earth sent out signals, broadcasts, DNA records, and images. The aliens studied everything. They found something incredible. Humans had resisted the same genetic decay. Even after wars, pollution, and mutation, humans were still fertile, still full of life. You are the only species that endured. We must join with you, or vanish forever. Jake sat in the glowing chair now, but only after making the alien promise him answers. A machine scanned his body. A warm light passed over him like gentle water. Then a voice came, not from the alien, but the ship itself. Genetic match, confirmed, immunity present, DNA, viable. Jake stood up, heart pounding. So what now? You put me in a room with Maya and expect us to, what? Breed like farm animals? The alien shook its head. We do not force. You may leave if you choose. Jake stared. You'd really let us go? Yes, but with you we live. Without you we fade into dust. Later, Maya and Jake were reunited in a white chamber. She ran into his arms, eyes wide with fear and confusion. They want us to have kids, she whispered. Jake nodded. Yeah, not just kids, hybrids, a whole new species. Maya sat down. They're not evil, Jake. I saw their history. Their children are dying. Jake rubbed his face. I know. But that doesn't mean we have to give them what they want. Maybe not. But what if we gave them something better? He looked at her. What if, Maya continued, we help them on our terms, not as prisoners, as equals. If we're the future, then we write the rules. Jake slowly nodded. We choose, not them. Maya squeezed his hand. Then the alien voice returned once more. Will you help us begin again? Jake looked at Maya. She looked back at him. Neither said yes. Neither said no. But something had already changed. Escape or empathy. The lights in the ship flickered for a moment. Maya and Jake sat side by side in a quiet room. No locks, no chains. Just silence and soft blue walls that seemed to breathe with life. I could break out of here, Jake whispered. I saw a vent in the hall. I think I can open it. Maya looked at him. And then what? Run? Fly a ship? We don't even know where Earth is." Jake didn't answer. He stared down at his hands. They were clean, but they felt dirty. He hated the way they'd been taken, hated the idea of being used. But when he looked at Maya, she didn't seem scared anymore. She looked thoughtful. "I held one of their children," she said. Its heartbeat was weak, but when I touched it, it smiled, like it remembered what life felt like. Jake leaned against the wall. "You think that's worth forgetting what they did to us?" "No," she said. "But maybe it's worth understanding it." Later that day, while the aliens allowed them to roam inside certain parts of the ship, Maya discovered a door slightly open. A strange scent drifted through, metallic, warm, and strange. She stepped inside and gasped. It was a nursery, but not like Earth's. The walls were shaped like soft shells. Small alien children lay in curved cradles. Some cried, but most just stared with tired, glassy eyes. The air was too thin. A nurse alien walked past her, limping badly. It held a child close to its chest, whispering something in a language that sounded like singing, but Maya could hear it inside her mind. "Sleep, little spark. Tomorrow the stars will hold you." She stepped forward. "Can I help?" she asked. The nurse looked up, surprised. It didn't speak, but handed her a small bottle with glowing liquid. "Feed," it said with effort. "Warm hands. Make stronger hearts." Jake, on the other hand, found something else. He followed the hallway until he reached the chamber from before, the one with the glowing mural and DNA charts. But now, another panel had opened. Inside were photos. He froze. They were of other humans. Some were alone, some with aliens. Some looked sick. Others looked happy. He tapped the screen. A voice read the data aloud. Subject 23. Refused cooperation. Died after self-starvation. Subject 24. Escaped holding zone. Found frozen in outer corridor. Subject 25. Formed pair bond. Early hybrid trial successful. Jake stared. They weren't the first. Back in the nursery, Maya sat beside a small alien child. It touched her hand again. Suddenly, it sent her a tiny message, not with words, but a feeling. Warmth, safety, gratitude. She smiled. Her eyes watered. That's when the elder alien entered, the one who had first spoken to her. "You still wish to leave?" it asked. "I don't know," Maya said. "You didn't tell us about the others." The alien lowered its head. "Many came before. We were less kind then. Desperation blinded us." Maya stood up. "You said you wanted help, that you wanted to ask, not take. We do. Now. But we had to learn. That kindness brings more life than fear." Later that night, Jake told Maya about the files, the failed experiments, the others who didn't make it. "I still don't trust them," he said. "But I think they're trying to change." "They have no choice," Maya said. "They're dying. But we do have a choice." Jake looked at her. "What's that?" She reached for his hand. "We choose how this ends. We can escape, or we can lead. But not as victims, as humans." He nodded slowly. Maybe this wasn't just about saving another species. Maybe it was about reminding them what it means to deserve survival. The hidden truth. The ship felt colder now. Jake had been restless all night. Even though the aliens had stopped treating them like test subjects, something didn't feel right. He walked quietly through the dim halls of the ship while Maya slept in the living pod. His footsteps made no sound. The lights above flickered with a soft pulse, like the ship itself had a heartbeat. Suddenly, a door slid open on its own. It wasn't one of the doors they were allowed to enter. It looked older, rusted around the edges, almost forgotten. Jake hesitated, then stepped inside. The room was dark, no windows, just black walls and a control panel covered in dust. Strange symbols floated in the air above it, flickering like dying stars. Jake reached out, and the lights turned on. All around him, holograms lit up. They weren't stars. They were files. Each one showed a human face. Dozens. No, hundreds. Most were tagged with red symbols. Only a few were marked green. One by one, he tapped the screens. Subject 04. Reproductive system failed. Subject 09. Mental breakdown. Isolation unsuccessful. Subject 12. Terminated after refusal to comply. Jake's throat dried. This wasn't just a rescue mission. This wasn't a partnership. This had been going on for years. In another part of the ship, Maya met with the elder alien again. They sat in a glass room filled with strange glowing plants. She had brought one of the children with her, the same one she had fed in the nursery. The elder watched the child with soft, glowing eyes. We almost forgot what childhood looked like, it said. Maya nodded. Why did you pick Earth? Why us? The alien hesitated. We created the weapon that killed us. Maya blinked. What? The alien's voice grew heavy. Long ago we tried to destroy another race. We designed a virus that broke DNA, stopped life from forming. But the virus evolved. It turned against us. Slowly, over generations, we became infertile. Our children were born weaker, smaller, until they stopped coming. Maya stared at the alien child in her arms. You were the villains, she said quietly. We were, until the stars punished us. Jake returned to Maya, pale and silent. There's something I have to show you, he whispered. They went back to the hidden room. Maya stared at the images, faces of humans who never returned home. Her hands trembled. They experimented on us, Jake said. For years. We weren't the first. Some of them fought back. Some never made it out. Maya stepped away. But they said we're different, that they changed. Jake looked at her, voice shaking. Did they change? Or did they just get better at lying? Later that cycle, the elder called them both to the central chamber. There they saw something new, a massive hologram of their planet, glowing blue and green. Earth. You are free to return, the alien said softly. Our vessel can bring you home? Jake narrowed his eyes. You're just letting us go? The elder nodded. You saw what you needed to see. We will not stop you. Maya stepped forward. If we leave, what happens to your people? The elder didn't answer. Instead, it showed them something else. A list of current crew. Only 19 were left. The rest, dead. We don't just want help, the elder said. We want forgiveness. That night, Maya stared at Earth's image on the wall. Jake stood beside her. We could go, he said. Walk away. Let the stars deal with their own problems. Maya stayed quiet. Then she spoke. They lied. They hurt people. But they're dying now. And I believe dying people can change. Jake looked at her, unsure. She continued. Maybe this isn't about saving them. Maybe it's about proving we're better than what they used to be. Jake slowly nodded. Then we don't run. No, Maya said. We lead. The choice. The ship was no longer just a cage. It had become a crossroads, between survival and surrender, between humanity and something new. Jake stood in front of the command window. Stars stretched endlessly before him. Somewhere out there was Earth, blue, warm, familiar. Behind him, Maya approached silently. They gave us the choice, she said. Now we have to decide. Jake didn't speak at first. His hands were shaking. I keep thinking about the others. He finally said, the ones who never got a choice, the ones they used and discarded. Maya nodded. But that's not us. They're not forcing us now. Jake turned toward her. That doesn't erase what they did. No, Maya said, voice soft but steady. But maybe what we choose now decides what kind of people we are. The alien elder waited for them, in the central chamber. Its glowing eyes dimmed as it watched them approach. It bowed slightly. You have seen our history, our mistakes, our pain. We will not ask again. But if you still wish to leave, the path home is open." Jake took a deep breath. "We're not leaving." The elder blinked, surprised. "But we're not doing it your way," Jake added. "No more hidden experiments, no more stolen lives. If you want a future with us, it's going to be one we build together." Maya stepped beside him. "You said we're compatible. Then let us teach you what partnership means." Silence filled the chamber. Then slowly, the elder knelt. "Then our rebirth will begin. As one." Work began that same day. The ship's cold breeding rooms were sealed and replaced with new ones. Warm, open, humanized. Maya and Jake worked with the alien engineers to design living quarters, medical labs, and teaching halls. For the first time, humans weren't just genetic material. They were leaders. But not everyone on the ship agreed. Late that night, Jake was awoken by a strange noise like metal grinding. He followed it through the dark corridor and found a group of younger aliens gathered around an old console. They turned, startled. Jake saw it immediately in their eyes. Anger. "You don't belong here," one of them said telepathically. "We were a proud race. Now we beg humans, like animals." Jake stepped back. "We didn't ask to be brought here. You were brought to save us, not to rule us." Another alien stepped forward and tapped the console. A warning light blinked red. It was aimed at the navigation system. They were planning something. "What are you doing?" Jake asked. "Resetting the course. Earth will be notified. Your kind will come in numbers. They will take our ship, our technology, and wipe us out." Jake's heart pounded. "You're sabotaging the mission." "No," the alien hissed. "We're preserving our kind." Maya was already on her way when the alarm sounded. She arrived just as Jake stepped between the console and the rebels. "Don't do this," she said. "We're trying to help you." One of the rebels spat. "Help? You feed our children with one hand and chain us with the other." Then the elder alien appeared behind them. "No more blood," it said, its voice echoing across the chamber. The rebels froze. "You fear extinction so much that you would choose hatred over survival," the elder continued. "But hatred is what destroyed us once. It will not do so again." The rebels backed away, and just like that, the crisis passed. That night, Jake and Maya stood in the garden room. The alien children were laughing, soft, musical, echoing like birds. Jake held a small hybrid flower in his hand, grown from both Earth and alien soil. "We nearly lost it all again," he said. Maya looked up at the stars. "But we didn't." A new tomorrow, one Earth, year later. The stars outside the ship had not changed, but everything else had. The alien vessel was no longer a cold metal tomb. It was alive, with light, with laughter, with life. Walls once used for experiments now held drawings made by alien children and holograms of Earth's nature. Forests, oceans, cities. Jake stood by a large window holding a small data pad. His eyes scanned a list of names. Hybrid births, health reports, and education logs. Behind him, Maya entered, carrying a half-human, half-alien baby in her arms. The child had soft purple skin, but brown eyes, just like Jake's. He stopped, crying. Maya whispered. "He likes your voice," Jake chuckled. "He has your stubbornness." They sat together, gazing into space. The ship was now called Haven 1. It wasn't a prison anymore. It was a shared home, drifting between stars, representing two species who once feared each other, but now lived as one. The alien elder, once tired and fading, now walked taller. New strength filled its body as it moved through the newly built chambers with other survivors, young and old. They no longer looked like ghosts. They looked like a people with a future. Later that day, a meeting was held in the Unity Chamber. Maya stood in front of the hybrid council, 3 humans, 3 aliens, and 1 child chosen to represent the future. She cleared her throat. "We once thought survival meant keeping the old ways alive. But survival doesn't mean standing still. It means changing, together." The council nodded. One alien elder spoke. And the child? Maya smiled and looked at the baby in her arms. He's not the end of anything, she said. He's the beginning. In the evening, Jake walked through the nursery gardens. Alien children were playing with human-designed toys. A group of them waved to him. One of the older hybrid girls ran up and asked, "Are we going to Earth one day?" Jake smiled. "Maybe, when we're ready. When Earth is ready." She giggled and ran back to her friends. He turned to see the elder, watching him quietly from the walkway. "You did not have to stay," the elder said, "but you chose to." Jake nodded. "You gave us a ship. We gave you a second chance." The elder placed a glowing stone in Jake's hand. "Now we give you something else. Our future." In a private room later that night, Maya placed the baby in a cradle made of human cloth and alien crystal. She turned to Jake. "Do you think they'll really survive this time?" Jake looked at the child. "I don't think survival's the right word," he said. "I think they'll thrive." Maya walked to the window. Below them, a new world appeared, a green, blue, and white planet with no name yet. It wasn't Earth. It wasn't the aliens' homeworld either. It was new, neutral, shared, untouched. Jake stepped beside her. "What should we call it?" Maya thought for a moment, then smiled. "Tomorrow." And so, the ship landed not with war, not with fear, but with hope. Two species walked side by side onto new soil, no longer captors and captives, no longer enemies, but something new. Partners.